I'm going to discuss about the subject Network and Cyber Security, presenting by Manjunath Iyer, Assistant Professor, ECE Department, Canara Engineering College from Mangalore.
In today's session, I am going to discuss about cryptographic uh, computations and TLS, transport layer security, and in the transport layer security, pseudo random functions. Pseudo random functions. The basic meaning of pseudo random function is in the random key or the random key is generated by using some function or algorithm. Okay, and the alert codes. So when the communication channel is established between the trusted parties, sender and a receiver, so no need to be alert. If a communication channel is established, okay, with the sender and unauthorized person, so need to be alert. Or unauthorized person with the receiver, so we need to be alert. See, in what and all circumferences or a situation we need to be alert. So those points we are going to discuss under alert codes.
So I'm moving on to the topic cryptographic computations. Before we are sending data over a network, the data means it's either a plain text, image, video, any other format. The data has to be undergone through different levels of cryptographic technology where we are adding more security for the data while it is being transferring through the network. And in a cryptographic technology we are using many keys, master key, private key, public key, and MAC secret code and all. So how we are going to generate all these keys, so that we need to study. So details about the keys, few keys we need to be study. The first master secret key we need to be create, how we are going to create the master key, and what is the length of that master secret key. It's a one time 48 byte value. Master key length is 48 bytes. So 48 into 8. Okay, it's I think around 384 bits. So generated using a secret key exchange. Okay, it will be generated by using exchange algorithm like RSA or Diffie-Hellman algorithm, and then hashing information, hashing function. Okay, so just we need to know about what are the algorithms we are using here. Okay, that is RSA or Diffie-Hellman algorithm. So when we no need to study in detail about algorithms, just we have to remember what or which kind of algorithms we are using to create a master secret key. So next, generation of cryptographic parameters. Parameters are client write MAC secret key. So it is generated at the client side, user side. A server write MAC secret key. So here again, MAC, it's a secret key, is generated at the side of server. And all this write MAC secret key which is generated at client and server. So they are using, these keys are using for encryption and decryption. So next, a client write key, a server write key, a client write 4, and the server write 4. Okay, so all these keys will be generated, I mean we are using, and generated by hashing master secret. Okay, in order to generate these various keys, we are taking a help of hashing function. So by using hashing function, it will generate a secret code, okay, that is hashing code. So by using hashing master secret code, we are going to generate what others secret keys, okay, which are associated with the client and also which are associated with the server. So next we'll move on to the TLS, transport layer security. So both SSL and the TLS are same, okay, except some minor changes. TLS or SSL can be implemented, both they can implement above TCP and IP below HTTP. Okay, so we'll see what are the minor differences between TLS and SSL. The first difference is TLS is going to follow some Internet Protocol standard rules. So that is RFC 2246, okay, which is very similar to SSL v3. SSL, it follows standard protocol rules, that is SSL v3, but TLS is going to follow some standard, that is RFC 2246. So this is one difference between SSL and TLS. So other than this, other minor differences are in record format, version, number. In SSL record header, it carries 4 information. Okay, first one is content type, second one is major version, that is 3, minor version, that is 0, and compressed length. Okay, here in record header format, version number will be different. So here it is other than 3 and 0 for my major and minor version. Next, small difference is uses HMAC for MAC. We know that MAC is nothing but message authentication code. It's a secret code is we are going to generate. Okay, here using HMAC, hash MAC. Okay, here hash MAC algorithm is going to use to generate the secret code. Next, a pseudo random function expands some secrets, okay, that is based on by using some algorithm. Okay, since TLS is following HMAC, okay, so to generate the secret key, it can use the algorithm either SHA-1 or MD5. Okay, SHA-1 is secure hash algorithm. Okay, that is a one. SHA-1. So like that we have different SHA-1, 2, 3, 4. Next, MD5. So MD means message digest. Okay. So HMAC will be using the algorithm to generate the secret code either a SHA-1 or MD5. Next, other difference is as additional alert codes. So it has to send the alert message, alert message when if any mischief behavior or mischief things is going to happen while the data is being transferred. Okay, so in SSL we have some set of alert messages, but here in TLS, so additional extra what SSL have some alert codes. So here TLS along with those alert codes, so it is going to give the alert messages, extra alert messages it is going to pass. Some changes in supported cipher, some changes in supported cipher text, changes in certificate types and a negotiation. So usually in SSL certificate type is X509. So here the certificate type is other than X509. Next, changes in crypto computation and padding. While we are adopting some cryptography, we are using some different techniques other than SSL. And padding, so length of the padding bits. In order to get the manageable data packets, so we need to add some extra bits for the data packet. So in the manner, okay, or in which way we are going to add or padding some bits to the data packet. So that will be different between okay, TLS and SSL. So these are all some minor differences between the TLS and SSL. So other than this, both the TLS and SSL are very similar to each other. Moving on to the next topic. So previously, okay, in the previous slide itself, okay, I have explained it uses some pseudo random function, hash function, okay, to give some security. But while we are generating pseudo random function, okay, that is a hash function, and adding a secret key, okay, key to the okay plain text. So okay, yeah, we are taking some extra care over here. It's very simple. Okay, let's take a two situation. We are adding a secret key, okay, single time, and we are generating some hash function. Then that is one situation, and okay, other situation is okay, for the same data or for the same okay plain text. Suppose if we are adding secret key multiple times, adding secret different secret keys, okay, different secret keys multiple times or multiple levels. Okay, that is another situation. Now if we compare the security, if we compare both the situation in the security okay level, so adding secret key single time is a very less secure as we compare adding a okay, different secret key in the multiple times. So adding secret key multiple times give more security on the data. So because if hacker is trying to hack, okay, and get the, if he is trying to get the plain text, if he know the secret key, okay, a single secret key, so he can debug it. I mean, so he can decode it. Sorry, he can decode it. But so when we have added multiple secret key, multiple different secret key, now if the hacker is trying to okay decode it, so he should know all different secret keys. Okay, so in that way, so hiding okay different secret key in a multiple stage or in a multiple level, it gives more okay security on the data. So that is what exactly we are doing here. Okay, now let's see. Here there is a seed. Seed is nothing but okay. Initially we treat the data data as a seed. So that will encounter for okay HMAC. I'm going to what add secret key to that seed, and it will generate some okay secure data for here. So again that we are going to treat as seed. Okay, like this seed. So this seed is also what it is okay coming from the previous stage. Okay, now let us assume that this is our initial stage seed. Now for the same seed again I am going to add the secret key okay for a hash mac, then we'll get some okay secured okay, hash function. Now this is what a single step. This whole is what is a single step. Now for the same thing, okay, what the output we are getting after this HMAC, okay, what the output we are getting, I'll consider this for next okay secret key, and the procedure will be repeat same. Let's say this output is A1. So now this seed, again this is a what, A1 is a seed. So this will be encounter for HMAC. Okay, just we are adding a secret key and it will give some output. Okay, this again we are going to consider as one more seed. Okay, that again we are going to what, adding some secret key, so it will produce what, some hash function. So at this stage for this output, how many secret keys we are adding? So one secret key, so second secret key and third secret key. So next output of this HMAC, let treat as A2. Now encounter for HMAC, adding secret key, it will give some output. This output again we are going to treat as what? Seed. Again we are going to add some secret key. Now it gives some hash function. Again this output we are going to treat as A3. The same thing is going to repeat. The same thing is going to repeat. Okay, it will give some hash function. So to get this hash length, how many secret keys we need? We are going to add 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now we are using secret key multiple times. So whatever the length hash function length is what? It is more secure, because the hacker, if he is trying to hack the hash function details, he should know all the secret keys, so that we are using to generate HMAC. So now if you want to see the length of the hash function, so here it is going to start from here and it is going to continue till the last or end HMAC. Now, so this is explained in like equation P. So P hash pseudo random hash function will be generated by using secret key, by adding secret key for the seed. Seed is nothing but the output that we are considering here. So initially it is input. After every HMAC we are after getting HMAC output, so we'll consider as a seed. So HMAC hash we are going to add what? Secret A1. Just we are appending with seed. Again we are going to append with HMAC secret, that is for A2. This is first initially for A1, then A2. Next again we are going to append it with seed, HMAC hash function for a secret key, that is for A3 and seed. So initial seed is what? A0. This may be what? A0. Next we keep on generating A0, A1, A2, A3. So A1 is what? It is a previous output that we are using for A2. So like that. So in generally, if you want to say that secret key we are going to add for the previous output, that what it is generated in a previous HMAC, that is A of I minus 1, where A of I is it's a generated from the previous A of I minus 1, so that is output, it is generated from the previous stage. So this is all we are doing just to make that system so difficult to hack the hash function. We are just making the hacker to hack the hash function not so easily. So you should know all the secret keys. So then only it is possible to hack the system.
The message is communicating between the trusted users. No need to worry about it. But in some cases there is a mischief. Things are going to be happen. That means message is not going to send by a trusted sender, or message is not going to received by a trusted user. Some unauthorized person is playing his role to interrupt the communication. So in that case, both the sender and receiver have to be alert. So those alert messages or those alert codes have to be intimated to both the sender and receiver. Both the sender and receiver. So that we are going to discuss. So on what circumferences or in what situations both the sender and receiver have to be alert, so that we can avoid the data shared to the unauthorized person. First point is record overflow. Okay, so other than unauthorized person, sometimes we need to okay, both the sender and receiver have to be alert. So first point is record overflow. So before we before I discuss about the record overflow, so let me say some points about the alert codes. Transport Level Security (TLS) supports all the alert codes defined in this SSL v3 Security Socket Level version 3, with the exception of no certificate. So whatever the alert messages is we are going to discuss here. So all are same alert codes is applicable for SSL for a version 3 except no certificate. Okay, extra addition or extra alert code is here is no certificate. So that we'll see later. A number of additional codes are defined in TLS, Transport Level Security. Of these are following. Okay, are following. First one is record overflow protocol. A transport level security record was received with a payload, ciphertext, whose length exceeds 2 to the power 14 plus 2048 bytes, or the ciphertext decrypted to a length of the greater than bytes. So when the message is sent by the sender, so it has some reference to the length. So its reference length is 2 to the power 14 plus 2 to the 2048 bits. It should not exceed more than this value. So that time, so the alert message will be sent. Unauthorized CA or unknown CA, certification authorization. CA is nothing but certification authorization. A valid certificate chain or partial chain was received, but the certificate was not accepted because the certificate authorization CA certificate could not located or could not be matched with the known trusted CA. We are already known or we are already discussed in handshake protocol. CA will be exchanged between the sender and the server. The valid CA should be shared between sender with the server. If unknown CA is shared with the server, so in that circumferences or in that situation, so the server or the sender have to be alert. Okay, so whatever CA is received by the server, if in case it is unknown, so the CA which is received by the sender is not a trusted sender. Is someone is trying to hack the data. Someone is trying to hack the data. Access denied. So in this case also, the sender or receiver or server have to be alert. So in what situation we have these need to be alert. A valid certificate was received, but a valid CA is received, but when access control was applied, the sender decided not to proceed with the negotiation. Okay, so sender the server will receive the valid certificate, but the server still need more more data need to be exchanged. Okay, whether it is a like private key, public key, or any other details need to be exchanged with the server, but the sender is not able to negotiate to send all these details. Okay, so that is what the meaning of negotiation. If sender is not able to send all these details, which means so that the sender is not a trusted, is someone who is unauthorized person trying to steal the data. If is if unauthorized person is trying to steal the data, is not ready to share all these details, because so he will be in trouble if he share all these details. Okay, the server will come to know that so who is trying to steal the data. Okay, so next, decode error. So sometimes encoded at the sender, but at the receiver side, if he is a genuine receiver, he is able to decode it. If the receiver is not a genuine person or a trusted key user, he is unable to decode it. Okay, so in case of decode error is happened, so it will come to know that the receiver is not a genuine or a trusted receiver. So that time it will both the server and sender have to be alert. A message could not be decoded because either a field was out of its specified range or the length of the message was incorrect. So some cases like even is a trusted receiver or a genuine receiver, so sometimes he couldn't able to decode it. So because of so it is out of specified range or the length of the message was incorrect. Okay, so that time also, so for a safer side, so need to be server and sender need to be alert. Protocol version. The protocol version, the client attempted to negotiate is recognized but not supported. The client, okay, so the communication is happening between the sender and receiver between the server. So both are okay. Let's say for example sender A and receiver is B. So they are exchanging their data between the server. They have to negotiate. So negotiate in the sense they need to they are ready to exchange their private key and public key with the server. So in the case of both the sender and receiver, they are not ready to exchange their details of all certificate and the key exchanges. So which means so they are not trusted. So they need to be alert. Next one, insufficient security. Returned instead of handshake. Failure when a negotiation has failed, specifically because of the server requires cipher more secure than those supported by the client. We are already discussed about the handshake protocol, why we are using handshake protocol. So handshake protocol we are using just to trust each other and to establish the communication between each other. So when the handshake is uh, handshake protocol is going smooth or it's going in a fair way, so which means sender and receiver both they are trying to both they are ready to exchange their details. So which means yes, so both the sender and receiver they are trusted. If both the sender and receiver they are ready to exchange their details, means they are like a genuine person. Okay, if unauthorized person or a third party is who is trying to steal the data, he is not ready to exchange his details, because so it is so in future it is going to trouble him. Okay, so he is not ready for the negotiation. So in that case, okay, if someone who is unauthorized person is trying to steal the data, he is not ready to exchange his details, personal details, like he is not ready to share his certification, authorization or key exchange or his details, so which means so insufficient security. Okay, so that is what is explained about in this point. Because the server requires a cipher more secure than more supported by the client. returned instead of handshake protocol. So handshake protocol will be successful only in case of both the sender and receiver is ready to share his details, personal details. If he is not ready to share his personal details, so the handshake will be failure. Who is not ready to share his details? The unauthorized person. If he is an authorized person, obviously he is ready to share his details. So then the handshake protocol will be successful. Okay. So that is what the meaning of insufficient security. So in other situations where server and clients are a user, need to be alert is unsupported extension. So sent by a client that receive an extended server hello containing an extension not in corresponding client hello. So in handshake protocol we have already seen that. So there is a mutual understanding between the client and server, okay, by sending a message hello. If the extension of hello is not supported, so in that case or in that situation, so both have to be alert. Internal error. An internal error unrelated to the peer or the correctness of the protocol makes it possible to continue. Okay, so it's an internal error with the client and the server. So sometimes even if internal error, so we can proceed, but we need further verification. So need to be, we can continue it, but we need to verify more than 1 or 2 times. Decrypt error. The message is sent by a sender and it is first it will be received by server, then it will send to the receiver. If the message is received by the genuine receiver, then he is able to decrypt it, because at the encryption side, at the sender side, he has done the encryption, and the receiver, the genuine receiver, he know that how to decrypt it. If unauthorized person is trying to decrypt it, so he is unable to decrypt. Okay, so there will be decrypt error. So in that situation also, so need to be alert. So is sender, genuine sender is going to send a message to the genuine receiver if in case the message is received by not a genuine person, he is not able to decrypt it. So because there is no proper key exchange between the sender and the non-genuine receiver, because the unauthorized person, you know what is the key to use for a decryption, so is unable to go for decryption. So in that case also need to be alert. The remaining alert includes the following. So other than all these situations, so in other situations also we need to be alert. They are: first one, user cancelled. This handshake is being cancelled for some reason unrelated to the protocol failure. So sometimes genuine sender is there and genuine receiver is there and genuine server is there, but for some internal reasons they are not able to succeed with the handshake protocol. Okay, so it has been cancelled, but we need to be alert. We should give them one more chance for handshake protocol to be success. No negotiation. Okay, sent by a client in a response to a hello request or by a server in the response to a client hello after initial handshaking. Initial handshaking is beginning. It will begin with sending a hello message. Okay, handshake protocol we are already discussed. Initially, client will be send hello message to the server. The hello message, the server will again send message to the sender saying that so hello message is received. Okay, so both they will understand, sender and the receiver, they will come to know that so this person is sending to this server and this server is received by this sender. So if he's a genuine, he is able to, okay, handshaking protocol will be succeed in this situation. If sender is not a genuine, so the handshaking protocol will not be succeed. Okay, so negotiation again. Okay, so he is able to what, the sender is able to share his all these details about the private key and public key or whatever the certificates, everything he need to be surrendered to the server. Because so later if any, okay, mischief things has happened with the sender, it's very easy to, okay, track it. It is very easy to what, okay, identify this message is sent by this particular sender. If the sender is unauthorized person, he is not able to share all his details, certificate and his personal detail, personal, okay, key or his public key or whatever. Okay, so there is no chance for renegotiation. So either of these messages would normally result in renegotiation, but this alert indicates that the sender is not able to renegotiate. This message is always a warning. Okay, if a sender is a genuine, again, okay, so I'm going to repeat it. If a sender is a genuine sender, he is ready to send all his details like, okay, certificate, public key and okay, all other information. If sender is an unauthorized person, he is not able to ready to say, okay, share all his details, certificate and okay, his public key, because he is a hacker. If he is going to send all these details, so the server will identify the unauthorized person. Okay, so that's why he is not ready to share all these details. He is not ready for the negotiation. Okay, so in all these circumferences or situation, so we need to be alert. If everything is going in a proper way, or it's everything is going in a smooth way, so we can say that, so there is a message is sending or it's a sharing between the trusted sender and a trusted receiver. So I hope you guys are understood so about, okay, this session. So I'm coming up with the next class about the next topic, okay, the fresh topic. Thank you everyone.